Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting it raw. Sometimes I'll think, I'm really vibing out at this moment. I'm really, whoa, this is like the heat, the sun is setting, that old dude over there, cutting cactus branches or whatever it is I had, wherever situation.
In Hull, yes.
In Ottawa. No, I mean, I recently was down in Mexico and I was thinking of these sort of scenes where the sun's setting and it's all dusty and and I'm just like, wow, this is such a cool feeling. I just want to take a picture of this feeling. I want everybody to have this feeling I'm having. The challenge, of course, is that a picture kind of has to have a subject of some sort, or people have to be able to hook onto something because they're not necessarily anywhere near the feeling I have when I might have chosen a particular photograph.
Okay, so let me pull back some more. Let's just leave the camera and the photographs on the table and just step outside and just go for a walk. So I create this podcast, and now that's given me the excuse to kind of reach out beyond the mere sort of little like, hey, how you doing over Facebook? A little like message here, message there, but to actually dive into a deep conversation with people. And in a way, it's a treat. For me, it's a treat because you and I have not spoken extensively for a few years. How about you describe, the camera pans over and sees a fellow called Scott Duncan sitting in his chair, surrounded by pine or whatever it is. So why don't you describe the scene of how I'm talking to you and what's your environment of you talking to me?
The environment, well, first of all, it's true. Our conversations over the past number of years have been kind of transactional. So it's nice to have a deeper chat. It's bringing back all kinds of memories. Somehow this, we're recording this during a really extraordinary lockdown in Canada around the COVID-19.
In the world.
I get the feeling it's kind of, you guys have kind of gone over the hump, but in Hong Kong, but
it's just as bad.
Back.
It's just as bad.
Yeah.
Given what's happening right now with the virus and the scare in terms of trying to make sense and recover, can you make a connection between your images as a source of commentary on what's happening, or is that just too pedantic and too kind of like, why even bother?
No, I think that's good. So I did the other day go out early in the morning and I went to Parliament Hill. I was disappointed to see how many workers there were. There were tons of people not doing proper social distancing and so on. But there was this old fellow huddled on there's this flame, this sort of eternal flame idea, and he was obviously a homeless guy, and he was kind of huddled on the edge of this sort of I don't know what you call it, there's around the flame there are plaques and so on, and there's quite a lot of heat that comes off it, and so he was kind of keeping himself warm there. And I took some pictures of that. I did with things in the background again, kind of in the it was foggy, rainy that morning again. And of course, I was, I had in my mind, the COVID-19. I first of all, I'll say that I feel very fortunate to be in Canada because we have a relatively well organized society. We have a relatively well organized and effective central government, which I know is not the case in much of the world. I was recently in Mexico, and God help them, it's going to be tough for them. And at the same time, I was aware that the response of the government of Canada has been very quick and in many respects very consistent and very, very generous in many ways in terms of trying to help Canadians in addressing this. And then I look at this homeless fellow and I think, oh wow, it's going to be really hard on people like him. Mm-hmm. Is he staying out of the shelters because he doesn't want to get sick? It's cold here in the winter, as I'm sure everybody knows, and it's still winter, unlike much of the world. And then I think of other communities, like, for example, Canada has an abysmal history in the way it treats the indigenous population in the country. And they really need to holler, to be heard. Like it's hard they kind of get forgotten, or, if they're not forgotten, the delivery of services in indigenous communities is often really challenging. And if they're far up north, it's expensive. That's, flying planes up. It's hard to get nurses and doctors. And so I kind of am aware of the sort of the weaknesses in our system. I'm quite concerned about that. I do want to, underscore the fact that we're very, very fortunate in this country.
Sure.
There aren't that many countries where the response will be as good as here.
For sure. Listen, go Canada. So for example, one of the people I spoke to is my sister, who moved to the US, right, for work and to be with her husband. And she's in Savannah. And so she's a pediatrician. So she's like, a physician in dealing in the community with kids showing up sick, and how to respond to them, and sort of the balance of how care over there is delivered. So the fact that you're conscious of how fortunate Canadian society is. Yeah, totally. One of the things of coming back after so long is to realize Canada's hard, man. It's a hard place to live in. It's not easy. It is so not easy. And I think Canadians are kind of used to it, and so it's kind of go, okay, we just deal. But dude, it is fucking hard to live in that kind of climate. And Canadians just do it. But you're hardy people. Like, for example, we get on the Zoom call and I'm in my shorts and a t-shirt, and I'm kind of like, yeah, my feet are cold. It's clammy. It's like, it's 25 degrees. Yeah. And then I look at you, you're like, please describe what you're wearing.
Well, actually, I'm wearing, very, very cozy sweatpants. Listen, one thing I want all the people listening to this to understand is we heat our homes in Canada.
Right.
We waste enormous amounts of energy heating our homes. So I was in Mexico in January in Mexico City, and Mexico, what do you think? Heat, beaches, blah, blah, blah. Mexico City in January, nobody has a friggin' space heater anywhere. Mm-hmm. Nowhere.
That's like Hong Kong.
Freezing.
That's like Hong Kong.
It's freezing because it drops to like 4 degrees at night, and then during the day it warms up to 19 or something.
Wait. I have to translate that into American. 4 degrees Celsius is something like 832 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, it's about 40, I think, maybe 38 Fahrenheit. Anyway, yeah. So I'm wearing probably about the same as you, and my feet are warm. Because I heat my house.
Yeah, no, that's the same thing.
And so, if you think it's tough because of the climate, it's true. It's not easy in that sense, for sure. I think another thing which is true of this country, and I think it's true of other places too. For instance, Northern Italy or France, the social networks are very tight, and so it's hard to get on the inside. And when you are on the inside, people aren't so inclined to let other people on the inside. So we're very friendly in Canada, but we're not particularly, but it's closed in a way. It doesn't seem closed, but I know this is the experience that a lot of immigrants, for example, have when they move here. It's like, what is going on? Like, why can't I get a break? And it's in some respects, I think it's related to that. It's probably related to other issues too. But
Sure.
that I think is certainly something that, let's say I'm born here, I'm white, I'm relatively well educated, blah blah blah. If I move from one city to another in Canada, in some ways I have all the privileges of what that brings, but at the same time I'm not connected to those networks.
Sure.
And it takes a long time to fight your way into them if you're from the outside. So that's certainly a feature of life in this country. We are currently way off topic from what we were discussing.
There is no topic. There is no topic. We start with a photograph, and then who knows where we end up. No, it's really good. Go ahead. What's up?
So I've got your book here, and it's a subject. It's a meditation on love, I would say.
Oh, listen to how dumb and naive I used to be.
Well, the I loves by degree measured by the exclamation point. In a way, the exclamation point, not written out, but the actual exclamation point. In a way, the exclamation point is the measure of the I. The more I loves you, the more exclamation point there is. Again, the more the exclamation point, the more the I suggests a personal growth by I. It's really lovely. It's great.
Oh, she's sweet. You're so nice. Listen, I deep down, I was an old man in my heart.
Clearly, you were some kind of Buddhist wizard when you wrote that, for sure.
Not taking any kind of drugs or anything at all. Hey, look, Scott. This podcast is going to happen for a long time, and I want to have you on again because as you mature and let's just end on that note, okay? For somebody like in your case, you have these stunning images, you have a clear sort of aesthetic and a kind of a series that you could bring to a gallery. Do you have such a space right now, or beyond Instagram? How are you letting the world know you exist?
Well,
or not that you exist, that your work exists. Sorry.
Yeah. So one of the other reasons that I chose the picture of the car coming down the hill was I put up a series. There are 4, I think, in that series, and all of a sudden, I got a message from a guy who owns a gallery down in New York City. He's a guy I've known for a long time. He's like, "Holy shit, Scott! I had no idea. I had no idea this was what your photography was like. Forgive me, I haven't looked at." And then someone else who's a collector in Toronto did the same thing. She wrote, "When can we buy one?" Mm-hmm. And so I thought, because it was really just around that one series, and the guy. So here's my COVID-19 story, my COVID-19 sob story. He's like, "Okay, we're going to show you down here. We're going to get some of your pieces up." And I was like, "Great, man! Mm-hmm. I get to show some photos in New York City. It's a dream come true." And then COVID-19 happens. And,
mm-hmm.
The pictures were a while back. We were just getting ready to print them. He was going to do a show.
Oh wow! That's commitment.
And then it's like he shuttered. He shut the whole thing down, and he's like, "I'm moving back to Canada." It's a shit show down here. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. He's like, "I'm bringing." It's a shit show. It is a total shit show in New York, right? There's nobody going to art galleries,
right? Of course.
And there are other galleries, and the world will not be this much of a quarantined gong show for long, but. So people will go to galleries again. People will buy art. It's kind of constant.
Mm-hmm.
But that was my first. Oh damn!
Yeah, so close.
Fuck you, COVID-19.
Yeah.
Close.
So close.
Yeah.
But look, it's like with the performances, right? Like, and actually, what a great place to end. We did a performance on a highway, so the 5 of us go.
That's
it's
true.
like there's snow on the ground. Who knows? Like, people are driving by, at 100 kilometers an hour. That's 55 miles. And, I think, and then, we're just doing this performance to the sky, to the
highway.
To the highway. And,
it was called a love story to the DeCarry Expressway.
Exactly. And so, but here's the thing. I firmly believe that just keep putting the work out there. And you never know who's going to turn around and see it. So who knows? Shooting it raw may just be my little pet project that goes nowhere. But maybe somebody's going to see your image and is going to say, "This Scott Duncan fellow. I like this Scott Duncan fellow. We have to contact him and purchase his material." So yeah, if I can help, for sure.
Thanks.
Of course.
You. Well, okay. So if you want to go look at them, just look up Tabula Rasa.
The link will be there for sure.
There you go. And I appreciate that. I'm really not here to plug stuff.
No, I am. But okay, so Scott Duncan, I love you. I think you're an amazing person. That our sort of friendship began in 1993, as you say. Performance. You're like an elder brother. You're the one with the motorcycle, and now I have a motorcycle. Thank you so much, and we'll have you more on the show. And I want you to have a great day and a great evening. And thanks so much, Scott. Thank you.
Okay, take it easy, man. It was really nice talking to you.
So, is life really a gift? Really? Can you make every second count? That's the whole point of the podcast. So if you like what you've seen and you're inspired, because that really is my mission, then please give it a like, subscribe, and share.
Shooting it raw?
Yes, shooting it raw.